YCN, cable television for New Hampshire.
From Bellows Bowling in Concord, New Hampshire, welcome to Yankee Championship Bowling. Championship Bowling is brought to you by Shaw's, your everyday lower price leader, and by the Croponi Transportation Center, located at the junctions of I-89 and I-93 in Concord, New Hampshire. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankee Championship Bowling, and this is our finals in this particular series, and tonight it's Steve Vadney versus Larry Wells. I'm Don LeBrun, and along with Jim Rivers, we've been with you for the entire series. Matter of fact, we've been with you for a few years now, haven't we?
I took a vacation.
That's many vacations. And tonight we've got the finals in this tournament, and next week we start anew with a brand new tournament set up. But tonight, Jim, it's Steve Vadney and Larry Wells. What can you tell us about those two guys?
Well, Larry Wells is the number 9 seed. There's Larry in your picture. He has beaten some pretty formidable opponents to get here. Chico Lacerte, the number 6 seed out of Newport. He knocked off Scotty Williams, the number 8 seed. Also beat Al Howard, more recently, the number 12 seed out of Salem. He carries a 121 average, and he hails from Peterborough, does a lot of his bowling in Milford. He is one of the 2 hottest bowlers in our series, and a lot of times the real good bowlers will get upset along the way. And I really think this championship matchup features the 2 guys that have been the hottest in this series. And the other guy that we're referring to is Steve Vadney out of Newport, and he works for Sturm Ruger, and he has beaten Rick Jones, Stevie Birch, and Bob Friel. He carries 127 average, and he has had the last 2 times out, he has broken 400. So it looks like on paper an outstanding matchup.
Well, it's certainly a matchup between 2 guys who are hot bowlers of late, although Larry Wells did have a fairly rough string the last time we saw him last week in that 3rd string, but before that he's been as hot as any bowler we've had on the program in a long time. So it has the makings of a good one, and of course the big money's on the line. The winner walks out with $1,000, so they're certainly going to be concentrating in this matchup. We'd like to have you participate in our Lucky Roll segment of the program, and there is the address for you. By all means, drop us a card with your name, address, and telephone number, and send it to us at Lucky Roll in care of Yankee Championship Bowling, 8 Commercial Street in Concord, zip 03301. And again, we start the series new next week, so we'll have a whole new set of bowlers. The only exception will be the champion tonight. The winner tonight comes back as our defending champion, and will roll next week. So it'll be 2 weeks in a row for that person. So we've got a good one. The money's on the line. We hope you're going to be with us. Stay right with us now, and we'll be back right after these words. Okay, we are all set, and lane 21. And this is our championship match. Starts off with a spare. I think it might be important, Jim, to mention that there is a pretty big difference between the winner tonight's share and the loser's share. So,
well, we'll take time out to look at this strike first. But yeah, 250 for the runner-up, 1,000 for the winner.
Larry has been a strike master of late, a spare master of late. He's put a lot of spares together. I don't think we're going to count that one.
Nope.
How did that 10 stay up? horsemen. Oh, 7 doesn't drop. Beautiful. I hope we've got that one. We do. Watch real close on this one. Larry Wells. The phone call this morning. Person wondering if you're going to come up with the answer to the Brooklyn side today.
Next week. I promise, next week.
You keep postponing it.
Next week, Don.
Folks at home aren't going to believe you any longer.
I figured Danny Murphy would have the answer a couple weeks ago. I tuned in every week.
He did.
You just don't know how to get it out of him.
Should be an easy one. Let's take another look at that one.
Had a good year for Steve Vadney. I don't know if the IRS is watching.
Couple in a row. Caught a break that time as the 8 dropped. Three in a row. Watch this one again. He's got 5 marks out of 6. Nice start. And there they all go for Larry. He's not going to let this one get away. Now when $1,000 is on the line. All right, well, we got to pause here. Let's take another peek. And there it goes. Here we go. Off the head pin. Working on the strike, so he's got another ball for his count. Catch a break that time. Steve Vadney with a chance to build on his lead. He's got them put together.
Six out of 7's not too bad.
Certainly isn't. Off the head pin. Oh.
Get the opinion these guys are in a hurry. Well, they are moving.
It's only a half-hour program tonight.
Or special program tonight.
Special report.
Well, I think you interviewed the winner down on the floor for a half hour. You can really delve into their background.
Ten stays up. We actually start a new portion of the program called "This Is Your Bowling Life."
This is your life.
Bring out the book and everything.
I'm sure you'll think of something, Don.
Always bring back your old college roommate, Joe Piscopo, and you and he can do a monologue together.
Sure. A monologue's with one person, Don. It's called a dialogue with two people.
Oh, is it? A dialogue, okay. The AC to 4 horsemen die.
Steve Vadney working on a 128, and there they go.
And those pins dropping. Oh, almost 2 in a row. He had that in the pocket. Tough spare. Nice string. 157.
Too shabby. Tenth and final box in this first string. Larry Wells. This is a tough spare lead when he needs it. Trailing by 34 pins.
.123 for Larry Wells and a 157 for Steve Vadney. Which brings up the point, and I think you touched on it last week when you were talking to Al Harwood. Would it be better to be in front or have to dig down deep and come back? And Harwood said, yeah.
I think going into a third string, if you have a choice of being up 30 or down 30, naturally you'd rather be up 30. But early in the match, you see, we've seen so many guys blow out to early leads and then struggle at the end. But I guess when push comes to shove, sure, you'd rather be ahead by that much than behind. Right now, Steve Vadney finds himself up by 34 pins. We know how explosive Larry Wells can be. We still got a long way to go.
We certainly do. We'd like to do a couple of things. First of all, put the address up for you so you can be involved in our Lucky Roll segment, and there it is. And drop us a card with your name, address, and phone number, please, and print. We have $37 in our Lucky Roll jackpot right at this moment. We'd also like to remind you that our program is brought to you by two fine sponsors, and that being Grapponi Transportation Center as well as Shaw's Supermarket. And by all means, they are two quality sponsors. Do yourself a favor and do us a favor and stop in. If you're in the market for a car or a truck or a Jeep, certainly the Grapponi Transportation Center is a great place to stop in because you're going to get the best deal with the best make of automobile. And when it comes to grocery buying, you can't beat Shaw's for superlative prices and for a wide selection of items. So help us out, help yourself out by shopping at either Shaw's or buying a car, a truck, or a Jeep at one of the fine Grapponi dealerships, the Grapponi family of cars. So we've got our Lucky Roll segment, which is coming up next, and we'll do that after these fine words. Okay, we are in a situation now after the first string where Steve Vadney has a 157, Larry Wells a 123, and we have, I think it's $37 or $37. Waiting for words of wisdom here. $37 in our Lucky Roll jackpot. If you'd like to be part of our Lucky Roll scene, what you've got to do is get a card and put your name, address, and phone number and mail it to us at the address that you can see right below me. and I printed that. It took me a long time. YCN, Yankee Championship Bowling, 8 Commercial Street in Concord, New Hampshire, and the zip code is 03301. And do us a favor and print your name, address, and phone number on the card, because it helps us in the long run, especially when my partner reads, because his reading level is at about 201, so it's hard for him to come across with some of those names that we find from some of the areas of New Hampshire. Let's go down for our Lucky Roll segment to Jim right now.
Okay, thank you, Don. What do you think? In the summer, we're looking for another way to get different a bowling scheme on for the summer. What do you think? Senior citizens, get LeBron on?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's good. By the way, Don also works part-time for the Internal Revenue Service.
Oh, yeah?
I know you're interested in that. It's been a good year for you, Steve. Dip down in there. We've got 37, I am told. Okay, good. Thank you. Norman Kilmister of 25 Centerwood Drive in Concord. We have $37 in our jackpot for you. And incidentally, we are going to be, this summer, having a different series for you. You're used to seeing the best bowlers in the state. We're going to do something different, so send in your recommendation. We got 5 pins there. To the Yankee Cable Network on Commercial Street in Concord, what you'd like to see this summer. Give it a good spin. We've got a minimum of $5 for Norman Kilmister, 25 Centerwood Drive in Concord. Looking for a 5, and it's not going to be. We add $8, so we'll have $45 when we come back. And for it, Norman, we're going to send you $5 in the mail. Thank you. And don't forget, as Don has indicated, send your postcard in to Yankee Cable Network, 8 Commercial Street in Concord. They go into this bin. If we draw your name out and the bowler can match up the right numbers for you, you could be a big winner. We'll be back right after this.
Okay, we are set. And Larry Wells at lane 21.
34 pins down as he heads into our second string here.
If you are just joining us, Steve Vadney with a 157 in the first string to Larry Wells' 123. That's an 8 to start for Steve.
Yeah, the winner comes back as the #1 seed, Don, but how many times have we seen the #1 seed get knocked off early?
Let's take another peek at that spare that Steve had. There it is.
Larry has really struggled, really, since the second string of his match with Al Harwood. His last outing, he had that 148, then dipped down to a 110, and then another 110.
Working on a spare, Steve Vadney. Two in a row. Replay and back live, and he fills it with an 8. He's picked up another 10 pins on his lead. Just misses the 3rd spare in a row there. Spare number 2 for Larry. I see Steve has his lucky Dick Moody's barbershop T-shirt on.
That's worked well
bowling
for him.
shirt he had a couple of weeks ago.
Tell his friends to say hi to Dick next time they stop in.
See how we set this one up. So a little kick and down it went. Just rolling along here. Maintains a 10-pin lead in this particular string.
Leading by 44.
11-pin lead, excuse me, 11-pin lead. Oh, 10-pin lead. Corrected Jim's mistake.
Remember, Larry is our higher seed as the number 9 seed, Steve being number 14. He'll get a chance to go second in our final string, which can really make a difference if it's close.
Nailed that.
That was worth taking a look at again.
Very tough spare leaf. Boy, that was nice. Want to see it again, Jim?
Let's watch it one more time. Okay. Back live.
There's his fill.
Lead up to 54 pins overall now.
Boy, he has got some lead. And once again, we remind you that it's a difference of $750 to the winner. Here's what I call a hardwood split. Well, hardwoods throw a lot of those last week. Diamond up there. Picks 2 of them off. $113 for Wells. That's 10 pins under the last string, gives him a 236.
But more importantly, with Steve Vadney filling a spare here, and then with the 2 frames to go, he can really put Larry Wells away. Lead up to 56 pins.
$126 with a box to go. Almost chopped the wood back there on the 10. Fell a little shy. 136.
Well, he picked up another 23 pins, so he'll go in leading by 57 pins going into the 3rd final string. Not impossible, but a long way to come back, especially the way Vadney has been bowling, not just in the last week or 2, but in 1984. It's been his year, and he has not had a bad stretch at all this year, so it's going to be tough for Larry Wells.
Just to give you an idea of the type of bowling that Steve's had lately, here we are with a 293, so it's probable he's going to end up with a 400 game.
And he'll be the first guy in our series to ever have 3 400 triples.
I was going to say, last week, 2 weeks ago, he had a 403, and then back in week number 9, he had a 402, so he's bowling some pretty nice bowling. The second week in this particular series, he had a 371. That's been his low triple, so Wells bowl more. The address is coming up on your screen, and if you want to send a card for Lucky Roll segment or send a personal note to Jim Rivers, by all means do so by
send a picture too.
Address, pictures, anything. Lucky Roll segment. And again, as we've mentioned many times, we'd like to hear from you to find out what you would like to have on our summer part of the program. Whether it be with celebrity bowling or the young people bowling or the ladies or Scott's doubles or something like that. We'd like to do something different during the summertime, and perhaps you can help us out. So drop us a note and let us know what your feelings are, what you would like to see in place of the professional men bowling on our regular portion of Yankee Championship Bowling. So we'll have that entire summertime to do something a little bit different, something unusual for us, and perhaps you can give us some guidance on that. Okay, Lucky Roll segment will be up next, but first these words. Okay, we are all set. I'm sitting down listening to Jim Rivers as he tells some yarns down to our bowler Larry Wells as he prepares for our Lucky Roll segment. We've got a 293 for Steve Vadney and a 236 for Larry Wells at this time with one more string to go, and it's safe to say that Mr. Wells has his work cut out for him, but he's been a hot bowler and the type of bowler that certainly can explode for a good string, so that match isn't over as yet. We have $45 in our Lucky Roll segment, and trying to give it away is Jim Rivers.
Okay, Don, Mrs. Vadney has already decided that she wants to go to Disneyland on what Steve wins if he beats you tonight, so it's up to you to spoil her plans. I know you'll give it your best. $45 in here, Larry. What do we got here? Why don't you step on over to lane number 21? She's written in here an 8. So apparently, and there's that. That's an 8. So you got to fire us an 8. Priscilla Lemire, 16 Whitten Street. One of our faithful viewers down in Suncook, New Hampshire. They watch on the Pembroke system. Well, not quite an 8, but 4. We send you a minimum of $5, Priscilla. $5 for you to spend at Shaw's in Concord. There's also a Shaw's in Hooksett. Looking for a 4 for Priscilla Lemire, 16 Whitten Street in Suncook. $45. Needs to come around another half turn. Not going to. There's your 8. We tried. Larry didn't get you the 8 you needed, though. So we're going to add $8. We'll have $53 first time around on our next series. We've got our exciting finish coming up between Larry Wells and Steve Vadney right after these words from our good sponsors. Down to nitty-gritty time, Don. 57 pins. Steve Vadney on top. A lot of few folks at home have already written it off. We'll see what Larry Wells can do to rectify that. He's got to hope that he comes up with a 157, and Vadney would still have to get under 100. So that's the pretty tall order.
Pick that one up. Nearly swung around and hit the 10. We won't count that one. For the mark.
Oh, it's a start.
Really needs every mark he could possibly get, so that one hurt. Just rolling along. His first mark.
Vadney had that huge lead on Stevie Birch. In fact, it was over 60 pins going into the third string, so he's been here before, and he knows how quickly he can lose it.
Steve Birch nearly pulled off an unbelievable upset. Well, there's going to be a time where Wells is going to decide, I'm trying to throw a home run ball here. Two in a row. Nudges it for the 10. I'd like to give a little credit to our camera people, Carl Watanabe and John Graffier, particularly John, because in the 3 years we've been taping this program, there's a nice strike, and the replay's coming up on the screen. 3 years we've been taping this program, Jim. I don't ever recall a cameraman standing up through an entire taping. John's the first. Larry kind of chuckled at that one.
Well, he has managed to pick up 12 pins. He's down by 45 with 4 boxes to go.
Well, 11.5 pins each box. Spot. So while we have a chance, I'd like to say hello to a nice family in the Concord area who watch us all the time, the Mullins, in particular to Bobby Mullen.
The Mullins and the Martins over on Concord Heights.
Talked to Bob Mullen, who said he enjoys the program, particularly likes watching you, and he said make sure you say that so that I get to keep swimming in his pool. So. It's quite a deal you have with them. He gets to swim in your pool and you get to mow his lawn.
That's right. I get to eat his mother's cooking. Just a little bit too far to come back for Larry Wells.
Not there for Larry. Oh, back door. I don't know how that one fell. Let's take another look at it. And pin came around. Spare. Yeah, he's going to go over that 400 mark again. 115 finish. Money in the pocket. 408.
That is an average, Don, of his 4 appearances on the show of a 396. 1584 for his 12 strings.
It's excellent.
For an average of about a 132 a string. His normal average is 127. So.
That gives him a 129. So Wells with a 129 finish. 365, which really isn't shabby, but it's really not good enough. I don't know if we can put up on the screen again the prize money so you can have a peek at what some of these people have are going to be.
That is amazing, though.
There it is, right there.
How often we have a 400 triple, and here's a guy who in his 4 outings did it 3 times and averaged 396. No question, he is far and above the hands-down champion in this series. He has just, had no competition at all.
Well, I wouldn't say he hasn't had competition because Steve Birch.
Steve Birch gave it a go, but Steve Vadney went out and got that big 60-pin lead and held off Steve. And after that, it was Katie Barthador, 3 400s in a row.
Yeah, just to recap what he has done, he beat Friel last week by 53 pins, 403 to 350. And previous to that, Steve Birch was 402 to 395. That was an excellent match, especially an exciting third string in that one where Birch almost came back. Birch was the defending champion as well. And let's see, what else? Steve defeated Rick Jones by 61 pins, 371 to 310. So for the most part, with the exception of the Birch matchup, Steve's had a pretty easy or rocking chair type of way into the championship, and he now goes home $1,000 richer. And
his wife goes home $1,000 richer.
Wife goes home $1,000 richer, and Steve has the happy task of coming back next week against who we don't know, since they have not had the roll-offs yet, but he'll come back next week as our defending champion. So he'll be being seed number 15 in the first week of the new series. We would once again like to remind you folks about our Lucky Roll segment, and if you would like to participate, the address is on the screen for you. And remember, we start a fresh new series next week, so by all means get your cards into Lucky Roll, Yankee Championship Bowling, 8 Commercial Street in Concord, zip code 03301, and print your name, address, and phone number for us, please. Okay, we're going to pause for these commercial messages, and then we're going to be right back and talk to our 2 bowlers.
Well, another series has come to an end, and our champion, Steve Vadney, our runner-up is Larry Wells, and we'll be going right into a new series beginning next week. We have 15 of the best bowlers in the state raring to go. There'll be some of the old names back and some new faces, and of course Steve Vadney will be here as the defending champ and the #1 seed, and he'll take on number 15, and that'll all start next week. And don't forget about our summer series. Jot down in a card what you'd like to see this summer and send it along to us. Right now we go down to our bowlers, our champion and our runner-up, and Don LeBron. Don?
Larry, let's first of all, in this particular one, how did it affect you when he came up with that 157, and you had a 123, which wasn't bad, but did 157 affect you at all?
Well, you got the lead, but it put a little pressure on you because you got to come back. But I'm happy because I rolled my average. I rolled 365, and I beat some good bowlers along the way, so I had a good time.
You certainly did, and you certainly displayed some great bowling. I'd say that for the most part, you were one of the hottest bowlers we saw in the entire series.
Yeah, outside of Steve. Steve, he bowled good against Bob, too. So he rolled 403, and then he rolled 408 against me.
What about, when did you feel that in this match that it kind of was gone, that you really didn't have a shot?
Well, after the second string, when you're down like that, you have to press to get more, but I just didn't hit him, that's all. Steve had 2 good strings. He figured 293 to 236, but that did it when he had the big 157. Because if you don't roll in the 140s, you're just about out of it right there, unless you come back with two big ones. And I came back with 113, so second string made the difference.
I would classify you as a quote-unquote intelligent bowler. You're not a what I would call home run bowler. That means you don't throw the big ball, the heavy ball. Is there any point where you say to yourself, geez, I really have to throw for strikes?
Well, no, because this is not a strike game. The guys who get the spares are going to be the guys that think they're going to throw strikes all the time, because a spare bowler will beat a strike bowler anytime, because there's not many guys that are going to throw a double or a triple all the time. You're not going to do it.
Well, you're certainly a spare master and very good at it. One final question. What about the format? This first time you've been with us, how do you like this format here?
It's a good format. I bowled in the other one, but I didn't make it, but it's a good format. And you got to bowl to beat the bowlers, so good luck, Steve.
Larry, here is some money for you. We appreciate you being on. We thank you, and we hope to see you again.
I hope so, too. Thank you.
Steve, congratulations to you, first of all. And as we said before, you are one hot bowler. You've had some nice bowling the last couple of months.
Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate, I guess you could say.
When we look back upon it, basically, with the exception of when you rolled against Stevie Birch in that third string, you've had a pretty rocking chair tournament.
Yeah, right.
Do you think that Steve, you know, the fact that Steve came back, what, about 50 pins, it's 50 or 60 pins he was behind you, did you at that time realize that that was a tournament for you?
Right.
Being tutored by Rivers, right? Listen, I'm not giving you any money if you're going to give me a Rivers bid.
Wow.
Listen, I'm going to pass this on to your wife. I'm not even, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. There's one for you. Congratulations, and thanks very much for being with us. And we look forward to next week, because you come back as defending champion and meet that 15th seed.
Right.
Steve, thanks a lot. Let's turn things up to my partner, Jim Rivers.
All right, John. That would be interesting if Larry Wells came back and qualified and was on again next week. Who knows? Make sure you check with your local bowling house, and perhaps you can be on one of our shows in the future. It's been a lot of fun. We congratulate our champion, Steve Vadney, of course, replacing Stevie Birch, who was our champion. And for the first time also, our championship leaves the city of Concord. It has been Danny Murphy for a number of seasons. Steve Birch won it. Now it goes up to Claremont, Newport area, and Steve Vadney. We hope you've enjoyed it. We invite you to join us next week for a brand new series. For Don LeBrun and the entire crew here at the Yankee Cable Network, Jim Rivers, so long from Bout Wells in Concord.